Greetings, folks. Kamal here, but this time with a grave warning. The integral you're seeing on screen right now is to be evaluated only by trained professionals, otherwise death may occur. What kind of trained professionals am I talking about? Well, they've served in both World Wars I and II and died 3 times. They have climbed Mount Everest 7 times by the age of 4 years old. They have traveled the entire globe on unicycle. Yes, the oceans were included in their travels. Speaking of oceans, they performed root canal operations on live sharks. They can bench press 5,000 pounds one-handed and deadlift 12,000 pounds zero-handed. But it's perfectly cool to sometimes ignore the advice of such professionals and just, take on a challenge on your own. So we're going to solve this integral anyway. What we have here is the integral from negative to positive infinity of x squared times e to the negative 1/2 e to the x plus x. So that is quite an integrand we have, and we could do with rewriting it a bit using the properties of exponential function multiplication, because that could make obvious something that, okay, this may be already obvious, but I'm just writing it anyway. We have the integral from negative to positive infinity of x squared times e to the negative 1/2 e to the x times e to the x dx. And now we could make use of the substitution, that is letting e to the x rather 1/2 e to the x equal u, which implies that x equals log 2u, and this also implies that e to the x equals 2 times du. Now, what about the limits of integration? Well, as x approaches negative infinity, we have u, which is e to the x approaching 0, and as x approaches positive infinity, we have u approaching positive infinity again. Okay, cool. So this implies that the target integral I equals twice the integral from 0 to infinity now of x squared, which is log 2u squared, times e to the negative 1/2 e to the x would be negative u, and e to the x dx turns into 2 times du. So we already have the factor of 2 outside, and that's du. Now we can make use of the properties of the logarithm and expand log 2u as log u plus log 2. So we have it equal to the integral from 0 to infinity of log u plus log 2 whole thing squared e to the negative u du. And of course we'll expand the square, so we have the integral from 0 to infinity of log squared u plus log squared 2u, it's log squared 2, terribly sorry about that, plus 2 times log 2 times log u, all multiplied by e to the negative u du. Now performing the multiplication and then making use of the properties of the linearity of the integration operator, we have the target integral I equal to, well, quite a few integrals, and I forgot the factor of 2 over here, terribly sorry about that. Anyway, so we have this equal to 2 times a lot of stuff. We have the integral from 0 to infinity of e to the negative u times log square u du. Then we have log squared 2 being a constant, meaning we have the integral from 0 to infinity of e to the negative u du. Then we have 2 times log 2 times the integral from 0 to infinity e to the negative u times log u du. Now, this integral here, the one being multiplied by log squared 2, is quite simple. The integral sorts out to 1. So that's one of them done and dusted with. And we'll call this integral I sub 1, and this one here I sub 2, and they can both be evaluated with the help of a very special function. What we need is the gamma function. So we have gamma alpha equal to the integral from 0 to infinity of x to the alpha minus 1 times e to the negative x dx. And we can get both I sub 1 and I sub 2 by differentiating the gamma function. So differentiating with respect to the alpha parameter, and we know that the integral converges for the domain of the gamma function, so we can switch up the orders of the integration and differentiation operators. We have the integral from 0 to infinity of now the partial derivative, because of the Leibniz rule, x to the alpha minus 1 times e to the negative x dx. Differentiating partially with respect to alpha means all the x functions are being held constant, so we have e to the negative x And differentiating x to the alpha minus 1 would give us, again, x to the alpha minus 1 times the logarithm of the base, which in this case is x. Okay, cool. So that's gamma prime alpha. And if you differentiate one more time, we have gamma double prime alpha equal to integral 0 to infinity e to the negative x, x to the alpha minus 1 again, and we have log square x dx. This is nice because that means all we need for our target integrals are the derivatives of the gamma function at, well, we need to make the x to the alpha minus 1 terms disappear, so that happens when alpha equals 1. So I sub 1 is actually gamma prime 1, and I sub 2 is gamma double prime 1. Gamma prime 1 is the integral from 0 to infinity of e to the negative x times log x dx, which is the integral form of a very special constant. That's the Euler-Mascheroni constant. So we have negative gamma here. Now, what about the second derivative? Luckily for us, gamma double prime 1 is quite beautiful, both in terms of the final result as well as the solution development itself. And for that, we need the help of the Digamma function. And don't worry if you're not familiar with the Digamma function, because here it is. The Digamma function, that's psi of s, equals the derivative with respect to s of log gamma s. And we know what differentiation would yield here, right? We would have gamma s downstairs and gamma prime s upstairs. And this implies that gamma prime s equals digamma s times gamma s. And on further differentiation, we have gamma double prime s, which means we have, well, the derivative of the digamma function is, you guessed it, that's gonna be the trigamma function at s times gamma s, plus we have again digamma s times gamma prime s. And we're interested in s being equal to 1, so we have gamma double prime at 1 equal to trigamma 1 times gamma 1, which is 1. And what exactly is digamma 1? Well, that would be gamma prime 1 divided by gamma 1, and we have gamma prime 1 again. Now, we know again what gamma 1 is, that's 1, and gamma prime 1 is just the Euler-Mascheroni constant, the negative of the Euler-Mascheroni constant, that is. And squaring that, of course, means that we have gamma squared. So we have gamma double prime at 1 equal to gamma squared plus trigamma at 1. But how on earth are we going to calculate trigamma at 1? Well, that's actually pretty easy. All we need is the series expansion for the digamma function, and we'll differentiate that to get the series expansion for the trigamma function. We have digamma z plus 1 equal to negative Euler-Mascheroni constant plus the sum over the positive integers k of 1 by k minus 1 by k plus s. No, wait, I'm using the z variable here. Okay, cool. So this implies that trigamma z plus 1 equals the sum over k, terribly sorry about that. Again, the sum over k, differentiating 1 by k gives us 0, whereas we have negative 1 by k plus z, which on differentiation yields 1 by k plus z squared. So what we need is z equal to 0 to get trigamma 1, and that equals the sum over k of 1 by k squared, which we recognize as the famous Basel problem. So that means we have pi squared by 6, which implies that gamma double prime at 1 equals quite beautifully the Euler-Mascheroni constant squared plus pi squared by 6, which itself is a beautiful result. Looks like we've got everything sorted out, so this implies that I equals 2 times I sub 2, so that would be 2 times Euler-Mascheroni squared plus pi squared by 3, plus we have 1 times 2 times log squared 2. Okay, cool. Then we have 4 times log 2 times, well, the negative of the Euler-Mascheroni constant, which is, again, pretty cool. And we might be able to compress this result just a tad bit more if we factor out 2 and write this as gamma squared plus log squared 2 minus 2 gamma log 2 plus pi squared by 3. And that means this whole thing would be gamma minus log 2 whole thing squared. So the final result for the target integral is pi squared by 3 plus 2 times gamma minus log 2 squared, which is a beautiful result indeed. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you learned something from the video. Be sure to like and subscribe. Do drop me a follow on Instagram, and in case you like the content, consider supporting me on Patreon. All links in the description box. Thank you. See you next time.